The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everyone, and welcome to June's ACEC webinar, where we'll be discussing practical ways to become more financially fit while taking advantage of the Financial Wellness Program and its many components. This webinar will also feature 3 polling questions and a short video. Please feel free to participate in the questions throughout the webinar. The polls are anonymous. We appreciate all of you taking the time to join us. Just a few items to go over before we get started. First, in order to ensure everyone has the ability to hear the information presented by our guest speaker, everyone will be on mute during the webinar. Second, please feel free to write in any questions you have using the Q&A tool on the webinar menu. And at the end, we'll take some time to go through these together. And now I'd like to introduce our guest speaker of PensionMark, Deanna Bamford. Mrs. Bamford joined the PensionMark team in 1992 after graduating from the University of California at Santa Barbara with a Bachelor of Arts degree in Communications. Mrs. Bamford is the Relationship Manager for PensionMark's Northern California clientele and provides bilingual enrollment support to many of PensionMark's clients. Mrs. Bamford has obtained the Certified Employee Benefit Specialist certification, and she is also fluent in Spanish. And with that, I will turn it over to you, Deanna.
Thank you, Tori, and again, I welcome you and thank you for attending our webinar today. So today we get to talk about some fun stuff, how to get financially fit for summer. Maybe a concept we don't normally relate to summer, but we certainly do think of other ways of staying fit, physically fit and such, and so why not talk about how being able to better position our finances to achieve our goals. So with today's webinar, we are going to talk about 3 steps that we believe if you follow will help you get in better shape for your financial fitness future. So whether you're just starting to work on your financial fitness or you're somewhere along the way and just looking to tone up a bit, we've got some steps that we believe can help. So first we're going to talk about setting goals. And when you think about setting goals, we need to both look at near future or short-term goals and future long-term goals. Then we're going to talk about taking action. And what does that mean? This is where the work comes in and we need to create a plan. And then finally, step 3, we're going to talk about staying motivated. And whether that means working with a financial professional or using some of the tools we have, anything we can do to keep that momentum going so that this fitness lasts well beyond the summer. We actually believe that if you do these 3 things, you can help reduce your debt, create some short-term savings for today, and start planning for the long-term goal of retirement. So starting off, setting these goals, we need to first define what your goals are, both short and long term. And if you've done that perhaps in the past or just starting off, keep in mind that they may change over time. As your situation changes, they can change. And so just remember, we're here to help you. You don't have to go it alone. So let's take a look at what some of these financial goals might look like to get you thinking about what we're talking about here. So the next slide is going to show us some short-term, long-term goals, kind of depending on your stage in life, your current age. You might just be thinking about paying off some debt, establishing some emergency funds, saving for kids' college, and then hopefully we can get to the saving for that long-term vacation, that eternal summer when you leave the workforce someday. So we're going to help you meet these goals. And so on the next slide, we've got our first poll, as Tori had mentioned in the beginning. We've got 3 questions throughout this presentation. We want your input. We'd love to see how long it's been, when the last time you reviewed your beneficiaries and your accounts. So has it been 6 months or less that you've looked at your beneficiaries, 6 to 12 months, 1 to 3 years, or has it been 3 years or more since you've looked at this? And again, just answer to the best of your ability, and we'll be able to view the results here in just a moment as a group, how we fare. And why we bring this up is the importance of reevaluating and looking at your goals as time changes. Obviously, there are certain life events that would cause you to need to reset those goals. So let's take a look and see beneficiaries being just one way of knowing if you, when the last time you looked was. If we've got some results showing here. For some reason, my results are not showing up here. Let me see if I can get, I apologize. I'm not sure, Tori, if I've lost.
Deanna, I'll go ahead and announce the results. So it looks as though 11% of the audience is within the 0 to 6 month category. Majority of you fall within the 6 to 12 month category, that's 56%. And then we have 11% that have reviewed the beneficiaries within the last 1 to 3 years, and 22% are within the category of 3 years or longer.
Thank you, Tori. I appreciate that. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to see them, but it sounds like we're in fairly good shape here. Just important to just a reminder that that is one feature that you can easily check and or change via your employer-sponsored retirement plan by visiting your vendor website. Typically, you can click on your beneficiaries and view who you've listed and, again, make changes if need be. So if you've had a recent marriage or birth of a child, you know, that's something you can change quickly. So with that, we are ready to move on to step 2, which is take action. And this is where the work comes in, that financial fitness. We need to put in some work up front. As you've heard before, no pain, no gain. So we got to keep in mind that these short-term challenges can have some really beneficial long-term effects. So by taking action to set a plan, we need to analyze, take a look at what are those short-term goals. We're going to talk about that, and then we're going to get into the long-term goals and give you some help, some tools on how you can develop this plan. And then once you have it, sticking to it. That's the key. So the first challenge we're going to give you in taking action is to get a budget, make a budget. And that is not always a fun or easy thing to do, but in a moment here I'm going to show you a tool that you have available to you through the ACECRT wellness benefit, and that's that personal financial portal. And so making a budget, reducing your debt, and then once you're able to do those things, you can start thinking about saving today and saving long term. So these are key features that can allow you to take control of your finances. So in order to do that, again, I'm going to show you here on this next slide the tool that's available to you, and perhaps we've had a full webinar on a demonstration on how to utilize this tool. This is the Personal Financial Portal, and again, just by being an ACEC retirement plan participant, you have access to this at no cost to you whatsoever. And what this can do for you is help you with these challenges of creating a budget, because what it does, and we're going to watch a video here in just a moment to give you a little overview of what this tool can do for you, but it helps you monitor all your accounts in one secure location. It's updated daily live so that you're getting daily feeds from all your accounts. This helps track your spending, so it could create an actual budget for you just by tracking your spending, and or you can input and create your budget yourself. There's workshops and reports and ways to track your rewards, all good things that are available to you. So with that, I would like to show you just a quick video that will help explain better this tool.
Things were simple. Life was good. Everything you owned could fit into a box. All your worldly possessions in one safe place. It made you feel secure. Time passed. You collected more things and more boxes. Life became less simple. Here's a question. Do you know where everything is and what everything is worth? If you don't, you should. If you want to know, you can. Now you can see everything you own all in one place. A private and secure location where your data is consolidated into one clear picture of you. Your personal website makes getting organized simple. It's easy to connect with all your financial accounts. As the markets change throughout the day, your balances recalculate to keep you up to date. To stay on track, you can create a budget and view your spending habits, monitor cash flow, and see your bottom line at any time. Interactive workshops show how your investment and spending decisions today can impact your lifetime cash flow, affect retirement, and influence your estate scenarios. To review the financial impact of your options, you can collaborate with us online in real time. There's a digital vault where all your important documents can be stored for safekeeping and accessed from anywhere. We provide you with up-to-date data so you can evaluate your options. And with a click, print out reports to see your complete financial picture. We give you the tools to connect with everything you own so you'll know what everything is worth, all in one place. From Wall Street to Main Street, those who know what they have, they're better than those who don't. If you want to know, we can show you how.
Okay, so that's, I apologize if that was a little difficult to hear. If you would like to view that on your own, you can access that through our YouTube, or as well as you can access it through your Financial Wellness Center at the ACEC website. So we just wanted to remind you that you have that tool available to you. It can be a huge assistant. Consider it workout equipment to get to that financial fitness that you need. And so again, when we talk about creating that budget, which can be a daunting task, that's one of the tools that we have available to you. And basically, a monthly budget is key to helping you commit to a workout routine, shall we call it, to stay financially fit. So first, you have to honestly evaluate your debt and make plans to address it and create a monthly budget and then stick to it. That's, of course, the hard part. But once you've established what those monthly income needs are that have to be paid first, hopefully you will see that saving for your retirement is one of them. That's probably one of your biggest and non-discretionary obligations that you need. So that's creating the budget, and it's, regardless of what economic times are, you have essential things like food and clothing and gas that you're going to need. And in order to do that, we're going to show you in a moment here how to create a short-term savings account and just how important it is. The little things you can do today can truly make a difference in the long term. So one of the first things you need to do is reduce debt. Once you've created that budget and you know what you have, then you need to manage what you owe. And obviously the first thing you want to tackle is those credit card bills, especially anything with a higher interest rates and higher balances. You want to tackle those first. And sometimes you have the opportunity, you can consolidate some of this debt and cards that offer kind of little teaser low interest rates or no interest for a period of time that can help you. And I also want to just point out too that credit cards these days, you can there's some mandatory disclosures that they have to put on your statement, so I'm going to talk about that as well. Another thing you can do is utilize our financial calculator so you can see, how long it's going to take to pay certain debt at certain interest rates. There's another way to check your credit score by going to myfico.com or Quizle.com. And then also, once a year for free, you can request a credit report at annualcreditreport.com. So again, just some ways to stay on top of your debt and start eating away at it. And then we've got to show you an example here on what that credit card debt can do to you. So just to encourage you to do what you can to, again, start chipping away at any debt that you might have. Here's an example. If you had $1,000 of debt on a credit card with an interest rate of 17%, which is pretty common today on credit cards, and you were to only pay the minimum payment, which is so tempting to do often, which in this case would be $20, it would end up taking you 7 years to pay off that $1,000 debt. And in the end, you end up paying not the $1,000, but $1,700 or $1,700 because of that interest that's accrued over time. So the true cost, the real cost of debt, it's important to know. And this is where I was saying that credit card companies now, by law, have to disclose on your statement what that minimum payment will do to you, how long it will take to actually pay it off, and what you're going to end up paying. So you can see that, and hopefully it'll discourage you from taking the shortcut or not putting in the work and paying above that minimum payment. So then next, once you've kind of reduced that debt, it's really essential that you protect yourself against unexpected expenses by creating a cash reserve. And we call this your emergency account or emergency fund. And this is usually something that's accessible to you. So in a savings account where you're able to access it easily without penalties. So we're talking about short-term savings here, and this is to cover what experts say is you need about 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses saved up in this emergency fund to cover things like your mortgage or rent, utilities, food, insurance costs, transportation, and any outstanding loans that you have. These are essentials that you need to continue paying. So, for example, if your expenses totaled $2,000 a month for all these things you see here, then you should save $6,000 to $12,000 in your emergency account to help protect you when those emergencies come. So once you've met those needs, that's essential. Now we can kind of talk about long-term savings. And so now we've got our poll question number 2 coming up. And again, we love your participation on this, and hopefully this time I'll see the results. But so the next question is, how much are you currently deferring into your retirement plan? So right now, what are you saving out of your paycheck towards your plan? Is it 3% or less, 3 to 5%, 5 to 8%, or are you saving over 8%? So if you would participate, we'd love to see. Again, it's anonymous, and just to get a feel for where you're at, and then we might have some suggestions for you on some goals where you'd like to get to. Oh, I see results. Excellent. So it looks like you're kind of split up, but it looks like the majority of you, 64%, are actually saving over 8%, which is excellent. I commend you and encourage you to keep it up. But we still have 18% saving less than 3%, and another 18% saving between 3 and 5%. So not bad. It's always good to see some savings there. But now let's talk about that retirement savings and the benefits of saving in your retirement and your employer-sponsored retirement plan. So this is typically the place where you're going to be able to save the most for this particular need, this long-term retirement goal. And now we're not talking about 3 to 6 months worth of income for emergencies. We're looking at 20 to 30 years, hopefully, of money that you'll need to be able to enjoy your days after leaving the workforce. So this is, again, we're talking about a long-term investment, anything you put in your employer-sponsored plan. This is not your emergency account. One of the big benefits, and we'll look at here in the next slide, is that it's pre-tax, and that tax savings can really help you build up your savings and save on taxes today, which is always helpful. And also the ease of being able to contribute, on a per pay period basis through payroll deduction. So that automatic do-it-for-me is also makes it a lot easier to save. And then finally, here's kind of our magic number that we believe and studies have shown in certain cases, it's going to take at least 10% of your savings, each paycheck, to be able to achieve, a comfortable lifestyle in retirement. And of course, everybody's different. Every situation is different. It depends how soon you start saving. If you get a later start, that number might be quite a bit higher. But we believe if you can contribute at least 10% plus any employer contributions on top of that, that you may be able to replace close to 85% of your pre-retirement income and maintain your current lifestyle after retirement. So several assumptions, of course, are being made on this example, but again, I think that's a key and reasonable goal to go for, that 10%. And then let me show you, again, the time is money, and the sooner you can get started, the better. Like any fitness plan, the sooner you start, the better the results, and the quicker the results you will see. So in this case, we got a little example to show you two employees. We have Sarah and John. We're assuming here that they both have the same income of $35,000, and they're both 35 years of age. And Sarah comes into the workforce and she starts saving right away without delay, 10% every year for 30 years. Whereas John delays 10 years. He waits 10 years to begin contributing, and then he starts putting in his 10% every year for the remaining 20 years. And you see at retirement age, we're assuming 65 years of age, Sarah has almost $500,000 in her savings, which is going to generate almost $2,000 a month of income for her throughout retirement, whereas John has about half that with only $275,000 of total savings, which will only generate just over $1,000 of monthly income. So it is a big difference, as you can see, long term. Getting an early start will certainly help you and give you the potential you need to grow that money. So without delay, of course, the moral of the story, the sooner you start, the better. And then here's some numbers and examples, again, to show you the benefits of the pre-tax savings. This is, again, one of the key benefits of saving in your employer-sponsored plan as opposed to outside of the plan, in that you get the tax savings. So in this example, we're looking at a participant, and let's say she contributes 10% of her biweekly paycheck, which in this example is $135. So that comes off of her gross, you see in the left-hand column, and so she's reduced her current taxable income. So her taxes are less than they were, and an impact to her take-home paycheck, she does come home with $101 less than she did before, but she has $135 going to her retirement account. Whereas compare that to the column on the right, not contributing whatsoever for retirement, same gross paycheck, taxes are higher, right? And so the take-home pay is still, she might still come home with $101 more than before, but that $34 is missing. Instead of it going to her retirement account, it's now going to the government for taxes. So that $34 in additional income tax savings each pay period adds up over a year to $884 in taxes and saving for retirement if you put it towards your plan. So again, it's just another way to really beef up that long-term savings is to utilize that tax savings. So, again, really all signs are pointing to 10% kind of being the minimum magic number. Not that more is not better, but that's kind of our goal here. And if you're not able to push yourself to reach that 10% immediately, then you can take incremental steps, little by little, increasing your contribution amount by 1%, 2%, 3% until you get there. Might be a little less painful. So here in this example, this is an individual with a salary, again, of $35,000 a year. If they were to increase their contribution amount by just 1%, that would increase their retirement savings by almost $50,000 after 30 years, which in turn translates to an additional almost $200 of monthly income. That's a big difference. And that's just at 1% increase. And then you can see at 2% and 3% and 5%, the large difference that can make. So I just really encourage you to make the commitment today to just little by little contribute to your long-term financial wellness and your retirement savings plan. And keep in mind, most of your plans, you're probably able to do that through your vendor website, incrementally, automatically have it increased for you. Keep that in mind as well. So here we are with our third and final polling question. And again, this is related to long-term savings. So the question is, do you have any other qualified accounts outside of your current employer's plan? Simple no or yes question, whether you have outside savings. And we'll take a look at the results in a moment here. And this is important because, again, as you're setting these goals and taking action, it's important to consider all accounts. And again, that tool that I mentioned, that personal financial portal, you're able to link all outside accounts, and it simplifies the process and helps you really see the big picture. Waiting here for some results. They are coming, I can tell. And I can't see them again. So Tori, if you don't mind, I apologize, giving me the results, reading them off to us so that we know.
Not at all. So we have 33% that voted no and 67% that voted yes.
Great. Okay, thank you. So as you see, 2/3 of you actually have outside assets, and that's why hopefully you're on this call today, because it gets more difficult and challenging to plan and get financially fit the more accounts you have. So we want to help you manage that and keep track of it to help you stay on track with your goals. And to do that, we need some tools and assistance, and we're there to assist you along the way. So here we are, our final step. Step 3 is to stay motivated, and that's sometimes the hardest thing. Once you've set your goals, you've taken action, it's not done. It's not a once and done process. Just like any workout routine, you've got to stick with it to continue to see the results. So staying motivated is essential, and there's different ways to do that. You can lean on or use a financial professional as your fitness trainer, if you will. If there's somebody you're working with, I'd encourage you to continue to do so. If not, again, utilize the tools that are given to you at no cost, and let us be your help in creating a strategy and utilize that financial wellness program through ACEC. There's some great tools available to you that we'll be looking at, resources that you can use. So at this point, it's just important to keep that momentum going once you've established the plan. So to stay on track, you need to hold yourself accountable. And if you're like me, I need help in that category. So whether it's my workout routine, I've got a friend that I meet in the morning, and honestly, if I didn't know that I had to meet her, it would be very easy sometimes to roll over and hit that snooze button and skip a day. So for you to stay accountable or stick to your plan here, tell somebody you trust. Do partner with somebody, your spouse obviously, or somebody close to you that you trust, that you can share your goals with and work on this together and keep you on track. And again, a financial professional might be very beneficial, especially if you're coming towards the end of your working career and you have several accounts and need some professional assistance. And then finally, reward yourself. If you've done the work, you've put in the time, you've created your budget, you've paid off debt, hopefully you've created some extra income. So for example, if you've paid off a credit card debt that you were paying $200 a month and suddenly now it's paid off and now you've got an additional $200 a month, pay yourself rather than pay interest to some credit card company. Put that in your retirement account and let that work for you long term. Or save for a trip, a nice vacation, something that's going to keep you motivated, stay encouraged to continue to work hard and save for your financial future. And again, let me just show you here, the next slide. Here is a sample of your financial wellness center at acecrt.com. you are able to access the online education center. So this is the participant education center where you can access not only these webinars that we do record and are available to you for listening to after, or if you're not able to attend the live webinar. There's also newsletters and calculators, the financial calculators, to help you do some calculations on what it does to your paycheck if you put in 1 or 2% more. Educational videos like the one we watched on the Personal Financial Portal, you can check those out on your site there. And of course, newsletters and just quick tips, we call them, for topics that might come up. You can search for topics that interest you. And then finally, we have some ways, so we call this your financial fitness center, your own personal little gym here through your employer, where you can access all these great equipment to again help you stay on track and get financially fit. And then finally, we have a reminder that other ways to stay connected through social media, whether it be Facebook or Twitter or YouTube or LinkedIn. When you're on the go, and I know we're all short on time, we want something fast and easy. We do post weekly quick tips and occasional videos and newsletters and things that can just kind of prompt you and remind you and give you a little nudge to stay on top of the goals that you created. I encourage you to use those. And then finally, of course, you have your Financial Wellness Help Center. And here is the toll-free number and the email address that you can contact us. You should get a live person between the hours of 7 a.m. and 7 p.m., all time zones. And we have access to your, if you do sign up for the Personal Financial Portal, or just to your 401k or employer-sponsored retirement plan link, so that we can assist you, really, truly, more on a one-on-one basis, help you with your fitness program. So I'm going to leave it on this screen here so that you have the information to contact us. And Tori, if we have any questions that have come in, I would love to address any specific questions.
Thank you, Deanna. Yes, please remember that if you have any questions, you can submit them using the Q&A tool on your webinar menu. And as always, as Deanna mentioned, you can reach out to ACECRT's Financial Wellness Help Center for any plan-specific questions. At this time, it doesn't appear that there are any questions that have been submitted. But again, if something comes up for you later, please take advantage of giving the Financial Wellness Help Center a call or sending them an email. And this will conclude our webinar session today. Thank you again, Deanna, and thank you, attendees, for your participation. I hope everyone has a great day, and we look forward to our next webinar series with you. Take care.